Hey everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Today's reading is about the Mercury retrograde at 22 degrees Sagittarius, which started yesterday. And I thought it was felt like a fairly quiet start to the retrograde. I know there was some issues with Microsoft Teams yesterday that were happening. And I did see that there was a upgrade to iPhone that rolled out in the last day or two. So we'll have yet to see if that is really buggy or what. But there is going to be probably a lot of people traveling for the upcoming holiday, and there is a Mercury retrograde during that travel, that holiday travel. And Mercury is going to be retrograde from November 25th to December 15th. It'll retrograde from 22 degrees Sagittarius to 6 degrees Sagittarius. And during that time, it will square Saturn and oppose Jupiter. And when it goes direct, it will be making a trine to what will be at that time a retrograde Mars. So, an interesting time for Mercury retrograde. There have been some very wild stories going on online. I don't know if you guys have been on TikTok at all and you've seen the story about the butterball turkeys that just came out and what was being done to the turkeys and everything. And what people found out about that. Of course, you know, animal rights activists were not surprised, as we know that these animals have not been treated well for a very long time. But some people are kind of finding out what's been going on with the turkeys, and it's making people pretty upset. Okay, so interesting stories I'm sure that we'll have here as we start the retrograde. And as far as your own life goes, I have 3 piles for you to choose from today. I have pile number 1, which is the radical honesty pile. Okay. I have pile number 2, which is the radical curiosity pile. And pile number 3, which says wisdom in play. Okay. So take a look at each image. Okay, this is for pile number 1's image, radical honesty. Pile 2, radical curiosity. And pile 3, wisdom in play. Okay, so for if you are feeling any of these piles, you will choose pile 1, 2, or 3. Again, you're free to watch more than one pile if that is calling you today. And you can go directly to the description box below to choose your pile. Let's go ahead and begin with pile number 1. Okay. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the radical honesty pile. And today's reading is about Mercury retrograde and what it is going to be bringing into your life. And Mercury started its retrograde yesterday, November 25th. And it will be retrograde until December 15th, okay? So let's go ahead and see what this retrograde will be bringing to you, pile number 1, okay? Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect us to the message on this beautiful day for pile number 1. How's everybody doing with daylight savings? I know this getting dark early is very hard on the psyche. I feel like pile number 1. Let's go ahead and see what is the Mercury retrograde for pile number 1. Okay, 10 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. And 10 of Wands in the tarot represents Saturn and Sagittarius, okay? Maybe some of you have Saturn and Sagittarius in your chart, but the Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Sagittarius, and this could be a sign of feeling exhausted, feeling too tired to go anywhere, do anything, travel, just feeling like at the end of your rope with many things in your life, and that things have gotten to be overwhelming or exhausting or gotten to be too much, okay? So analyzing where that you might be feeling that way and getting really radically honest with yourself about that. Pile number one. We have the Six of Cups and we have the Hierophant. All right. And one question I have for you, pile number one, is where are you stopping yourself from receiving pleasure or receiving more bounty in your life? Where are you saying, I don't have time for that? It's like, I would love to go buy myself fresh flowers at the farmer's market, or I would love to go, get ingredients to make a beautiful pumpkin soup or potato soup. I don't know why I keep getting pumpkin or potato soup, but I would love to have time to go and do these little nice things for myself, but I feel like I'm putting a stop to doing it because I'm too overwhelmed, okay? So we're also going to talk about where people's beliefs can get in the way of radical honesty or sharing, right? It's like, I want to make nice with someone, Six of Cups, so I don't really want to share how I'm really feeling or what I really believe about something. Okay, and there may be a situation in your life that's more traditional or is a person that is more traditional, and you're kind of just going along with it because you don't want to create waves, okay? So pile number one, I'm already getting some energy here for you for the Mercury retrograde. We have contemplation. It breathes in the stillness of all that is, exhaling all that isn't, coming from the ends of the starts and the highest of the lows. Here I gasp for the answers to unfold, okay? And I love this card here, talking about contemplation. Here I gasp for the answers to unfold, coming from the ends of the starts and the highest of the lows. It breathes in the stillness of all that is, exhaling all that it isn't. Contemplation. Okay, we have release here. Release, and we'll talk about the message on the back of the card here. It says to release is to liberate and to solve problems and to untie knots. The first step is going back to your roots to reconnect with home. Yeah, going back to roots to reconnect with home and allies, especially if you have no clear destination. When you know where you're coming from, you can be more certain about where you're going, and then you can explore ways to reach it. If nothing could bind you, where would you go? Do you have to? Who says you have to? Which path leads to where you want to be? Okay, which path leads to home and leads to comfort, leads to more time and space for contemplation. And Saturn and Sagittarius is definitely an energy of I don't want to go, or I don't want to travel, or I'm done with that, or I need to spend some time at home with the people that I care about, caring about the people that I love. And this is talking about reconnecting with home and allies and friends and going back to your roots, okay? And maybe that's something you'll be doing during this Mercury retrograde. We have time. Yeah, definitely giving yourself. And the Hierophant does not like to be rushed. Neither does the Six of Cups. The Hierophant and the Six of Cups in the tarot, Hierophant is Taurus, Six of Cups is Scorpio energy. So Taurus, Scorpio energy, fixed sign energy does not like to be rushed at all, okay? And clearing your mind or clearing your head. The bald heads on the Hierophant are really calling to me, but bald head could be the same as having a clear mind or having a clear head. and having the time, taking the time to do all the little things that you would like to do, taking your time to contemplate, not letting yourself get pushed into doing things that you don't want to do, and taking a soft touch with yourself is also what I feel, okay? Not letting yourself get, peer pressured or bullied or just kind of bamboozled into doing stuff that you don't feel like doing, all right? Giving yourself the time. And we have new life. You may get a fresh start or be called to bring a new perspective to your old job. You may also get a tempting job offer or a new place, okay? A fresh start, okay? And maybe some of you are getting a fresh start at a job or a tempting offer to go to a new place, and you need to take some time to think about this offer. Because Hierophant energy is, change can be really disruptive and really triggering when we're trying to relax and breathe and take time for ourselves. Change can be very triggering, but perhaps you're thinking about new life. You're thinking about going someplace where things are quieter, where things are more chill, where things are more easygoing, okay? Or you're getting a tempting job offer at this time, okay? You also may get a tempting job offer or an invitation to go to a new place, but I feel like you need some time to think about it, like I said, because being comfortable and not having tons of change and all of that may be what you need right now. We have here renewal. You need to take time to recharge your energy to get back on track. Yeah, that's with this time card here, okay? Challenges ahead require you to have faith and break through. Okay, and that's the Hierophant energy of having faith and being able to break through obstacles or break through obstacles and resistance to change or resistance to going somewhere new. But before you make that decision or before you decide to do that, you need some time to relax, okay, and get your energy back on track. All right. And let's see, Mercury. See, you guys have Mercury in your pile, and this is about the Mercury retrograde and open communication. Get a weight off your chest, okay? Speak up with love and be heard. Now, it's interesting because Mercury retrograde is going to be squaring Saturn at various points during the retrograde. And when Mercury squares Saturn, it may be hard to get what you're saying off your chest. And what I talked about earlier about just kind of going along with the flow, because it's easier being around people who are maybe, more closed-minded or traditional in some ways, and maybe feeling like, okay, I don't want to rock the boat. So your pile is radical honesty, right? So with Mercury square Saturn, it may be a little hard because you may be feeling like there's, closed-minded or traditional viewpoints around you, and it's hard to express yourself fully, and you like everyone there, so you don't really want to rock the boat, or you don't want to cause drama is what I'm getting, especially during this Mercury retrograde. But radical honesty is important, and there may be a challenge to speak your mind, to keep the peace, and make sure everybody is comfortable in the situation. But I feel like at some point during this retrograde, you will be having a conversation. Timing is important, but you will be having a conversation and getting a weight off your chest. And it doesn't have to be, I actually feel the conversation is going to go a lot better than what you anticipate. I actually feel like with the Six of Cups and the Hierophant, it's gonna be smooth sailing, actually. Just wait for the right time, but I actually feel like the conversation is gonna go a lot better than what you thought. We have just ask, okay? And this is a message from Spirit. There are many here in the spirit world that can assist you at this time. We are made up of the divine source, your loved ones, friends, guides, angels, and spirit helpers who are here waiting to assist you. We are your spiritual team. Yeah, the Hierophant, right? We are your spiritual team, and all you have to do is ask for our help and guidance, okay? And spending time in contemplation, asking Spirit for help and guidance with the direction, because with the Ten of Wands and Saturn and Sagittarius, sometimes it may feel like we're lacking direction or we don't know what direction to go next, but we just need to spend some time in contemplation, breathing in the stillness of all that is, contemplating on a fresh start, and asking Spirit for guidance with that, okay? We have success. Wow, I love that. Success that's true belongs to me. Success with honor and integrity and dignity, okay? And there might have been a time when it felt like the work was never going to be done, or the work was never going to be, and you're tired, maybe tired of all the work, and it seems like the work is going nowhere, and there's a lot on my shoulders. There's a lot riding on what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of tired of it, okay? But I feel like, staying the course with the Hierophant energy is really important. And because I feel like you're very close to achieving your goal here, okay? And it says you need to take time to recharge your energy to get back on track, okay? Challenges ahead require you to have faith and break through. So take a break, take a little bit of a mental break during this Mercury retrograde. I feel pile number 1, okay? And really, before you have a conversation about something, make sure it's the right time for you. And if you are contemplating a new job or a fresh start somewhere and you're not too sure about it, maybe you just need some more time to think about it and to ask yourself those honest questions in order to have that breakthrough that you're looking for. We have Sagittarius energy. Actually, that's so interesting. You guys have, again, this reading is about Mercury and Sagittarius. And look right here. We've got Mercury and we've got Sagittarius. Mercury and Sagittarius. That is so fun and interesting. With Mercury and Sagittarius, there's a necessity to kind of like maybe overcommit to things or overpromise things, or in a moment of like upliftment or abundance, feel like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can take that on. Yeah, I'll agree to that. I'll go ahead and do that. Okay. But I also feel like with the square to Saturn, it's like, okay, plans can get interrupted, or plans can get squashed, or plans can get overwhelming too with the Ten of Wands here, okay? So, in a moment of weakness and optimism, sometimes we can agree to stuff, but I would say just, which is fine. It's fine to have moments of optimism, but just take your time. I would say with the Hierophant energy here, slow down, take your time. Take it easy, okay? There is a lot of expansion and success ahead for you, especially after the new year, I feel, with this renewal energy. And maybe you're taking some time right now to contemplate what you would like to release in your life. And you're seeking emotional support with the Six of Cups from those around you, all right? And it's funny because you guys got the radical honesty pile. But honestly, with certain people in your life, it may not be the time for radical honesty, because they may need gentleness right now. Maybe you need gentleness right now. It's kind of interesting with Mercury and Sagittarius, because I feel like the opposite of what we need, the opposite of what we are saying what we need is actually what we need, right? So it's like, okay, you want radical honesty, but what you really need is, a gentle touch. Okay, you want people to be brutally truthful with you, and so that you're not getting your hopes up over nothing, but what you actually need is, contemplation, meditation, release, quiet time to relax your mind, right? So that's interesting to me, pile number one. We have Archangel Hanael. Find and follow your rhythm. Find and follow your rhythm. Yeah, and the rhythm for how you want to structure your day-to-day activities, Hierophant. Your like meditation, spiritual time, contemplation, meditating on new life, releasing the past, all of that, right? Find and follow your rhythm. And that can be a little hard, I feel like, with the Mercury and Sagittarius, because we could be getting messages about speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. Like we get alternating messages sometimes and nothing is clear. And I feel like what Spirit is saying to you guys is ignore all of that, and do what feels comfortable to you and find your rhythm and the rhythm that sustains you in your day. Find and follow your rhythm. Try not to follow other people's rhythm right now, because that's where I feel like it can lead to overwhelm, burnout, 10 of Wands type stuff, okay? To getting overloaded, right? But I think as long as you stay grounded and connected to your body, the Hierophant energy here, you're going to be just fine, pile number one, okay? So that is what I am getting for you, my loves. If you guys have an interesting pile with your Mercury and Sagittarius. So perhaps maybe some of you do have Mercury in Sagittarius or planets in Sagittarius. Take care, pile number one. Wishing you the very best. Let's move on to pile number two. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. You chose Radical Curiosity. In today's reading, we are talking about the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius and what it could possibly mean for you. Okay, and during the retrograde, Mercury is going to be squaring Saturn and opposing Jupiter. So that can result in some missed opportunities, missed appointments. I know I just got a call from a doctor's office the other day saying, oh, sorry, that appointment that you booked last week, that person isn't going to be in the office. We need you to reschedule. It could be a lot of like rescheduling and calls like that going on, okay? But let's go ahead and see for my pile number twos. Missed appointments, showing up late. You thought you put a meeting on your calendar. You thought you put an appointment on your calendar, but you forgot about it. Just, stuff like that. Very Mercury retrograde. Let's go ahead and see for my pile number twos. Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius. So, the retrograde can feel a little messy. I definitely get it. We have here 7 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and it says delusion, okay? Well, Mercury is opposite Jupiter during this retrograde as well, so that could be like over optimism or wanting to think the best of something, okay? We've got King of Wands and passion. And we've got 3 of Cups and celebration. Wow. Pile number 2. Is there something in your life right now that's really, you're really excited about, celebrating with friends? Is there someone in your life that is very exciting, fun, and sexy, and you want to celebrate that energy in your life, okay? Is there someone you're attracted to, or somebody that's making you feel really happy and excited, okay? Are you celebrating because you have time to actually do what you're passionate about? Okay, these are some energies coming through. King of Wands in the tarot is very much with that Sagittarian energy. And it's hard to sit still, I feel like, with this King of Wands. It's hard to sit still and do nothing when you're like feeling really passionate and you're feeling in the mood to celebrate and you're feeling in the mood to be goofy and silly and fun, and perhaps spend some passionate time with the person that you care about, celebrating a win with the Three of Cups here, celebrating a win. Ceremony. I call upon those heralds of winter, dimming light for better sight. Hear thy praise spilling from thy lips, and spell I'll cast for thy spirits in me. Ooh, ceremony. And you know what? She, in this reading, is totally nude in the snow with a veil over her and performing a magic ceremony without any clothes on. So again, we have passion and celebrating, and perhaps some of you are going to be spending time with the person that you care about and having some fun naked moments with that person. One could dare to dream, pile number 2. Okay. And radical curiosity and ceremony. We have here small exceeding. Okay. And I'm going to read the card. It says, taking small steps, you are going beyond boundaries and structures, but still paying attention to them, responding and adjusting. This is a creative way to engage with the world. The call of the bird in flight reminds you not to go against your nature and overreach yourself. Yeah, like go a little too crazy, having too much fun, not to overreach yourself, right? But you're going beyond boundaries and structures, but still paying close attention, okay? Responding and adjusting. Scaling down your aspirations brings you blessings, okay? What small things can you do to meet the needs of the situation? How can you take even more care, okay? And by taking small steps. Now, with the Mercury retrograde opposite Jupiter, right, there's going to be an attitude of excitement and wanting to take big steps, okay? Wanting to take really, really big steps with a particular person in your life or with your own creative endeavors. It's like, I want to take a really big step. I don't want to take a small, tiny little step, right? The King of Wands is not an energy of, let me just take a small, tiny little step, right? It's like, let me not just kiss you goodnight, but let me like stand on your doorstep with you and make out with you for like 10 minutes straight, right? Have a real like passionate session of making out, right? But taking small steps is what may actually ensure success at the end of the day. The call of the bird in flight reminds you not to go against your own nature and overreach yourself. So try not to get caught up in the moment and in the excitement. I do feel like you guys are going to have some fun and exciting moments during Mercury retrograde, when you're going to feel pumped up, or you're going to feel excited to see someone, or to work on your creative projects, to spend time doing things you're passionate about and seeing people that you think are really hot or sexy, or having fun, or going to a party. Okay, Three of Cups. But Spirit is saying, and truth be told, during this time of year from November 25th to December 15th, there's a lot of like holiday parties, and there's a lot of, drinking and celebrating and going wild and going crazy. And, you know, having radical curiosity, like, oh, I wonder what this person is like, and I wonder how they kiss, and I wonder how this, and I wonder that, and you know, being playful. I feel like with the King of Wands and Three of Cups is definitely coming through. And somebody being like really playful, fun, or jovial with you, I feel like is coming through in your reading, pile number 2. But yeah, the creative way to engage with the world is, you know, and I definitely feel with radical curiosity, like people getting into a little bit of naughty trouble, or, you know, in one's excitement, getting into a little bit of a naughty trouble scenario. Okay. So, you know, you are going beyond boundaries and structures, but you're still paying close attention to them. You're still having a negotiation with Saturn, right? It's like, I want to have fun. I want to do whatever the hell I want. I want to da 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 da, right? But it's like, but Saturn is right there squaring Mercury as well. I better still keep the rules in mind a little bit, okay? Um, but yeah, going beyond boundaries, but still kind of paying attention to boundaries is important during this time. We have the divine masculine. Yeah, that's so funny. Because some of you may be like meeting a hot and sexy person that you're like, oh yeah, I am actually very curious about this person, and I do want to hear more about them. And it says, hear thy praise spilling from thy lips. Okay. So some of you, that could be somebody giving you like a compliment, or a man in your life when it comes to your creative work that supports your creative work, but somebody coming into your life and giving you a nice compliment is another thing that I feel, pile number 2. Okay. You could be receiving a compliment about your creative work, and you know, taking a lot of pride in what you do, and being really excited about your creative work. Somebody comes up to you to come and talk to you about your passion, your projects, the things that you really like, and it's a really cool conversation. Okay. And there is an attraction, I feel like, between you and this person, pile number 2. There's definitely like a little attraction thing going on there. We have investment. Invest in your education and make big plans for the future. Take calculated risks, but save something to fall back on. Now, Mercury and Sagittarius opposite Jupiter and Gemini could be like spending a lot of money. Especially, you know, Mercury and Jupiter are planets that have to do with one's education. So spending money on a class that you want to take, investing in a class that you want to take, and in investing in a class that you want to take, you could meet somebody at that class, okay? Invest in your education, whether that's art education, creative education, passion project, things that you're really into, and make some big plans for the future. Take a calculated risk, but save something to fall back on. Yeah, because that's that square to Saturn, right? Like we can get kind of hyped up, like spending money and be like, whatever, right? Especially around the holidays, we can get real hyped up, like, oh, I'm just going to spend whatever money, who cares, da da da, right? It's the holidays, everyone's celebrating, everyone's having a good time, okay? But we got to check ourselves a little bit with the square to Saturn. Freedom. You need to have more flexibility with your schedule and income. Being self-employed is ideal. Yeah, especially for the King of Wands, self-employed schedule is needed. And for my divine masculines who are watching this reading, I feel like during this Mercury retrograde, you could feel very happy and confident and glad that you showed up somewhere. And yeah, so, and you could receive a compliment about your work or the things that you're working on. And that goes for the women in this reading too, right? But because women have a divine masculine within them as well, which has to do with that part of ourselves that's very yang and active. And, but again, self-employed work is ideal. okay? And with Mercury opposite Jupiter, we are looking to have more flexibility and freedom in our schedule, more flexibility in our income, right? Because we are spending more money during the holidays. A lot of people do, right? So we need more freedom, we need more money, and we need more investment. You know, a wise investment gives you the freedom that you're looking for. Here we have Joan of Arc and the voice of truth. Wow. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. Yeah, and you know what? Mercury opposite Jupiter could be people who are afraid of speaking their truth because of religious persecution or fear of persecution. It's interesting because I was at this event last Saturday and I went to this talk or presentation on the Hawaiian practice of Ho'oponopono. I think I'm saying it right. Anyway, you guys, some of you will know what I mean. But the presenter there was talking about, you know, that feeling of being persecuted or not being able to share one's truth, and you know, how that carries over from past lives and things like that. It's interesting with this Joan of Arc energy coming up, because so far I feel like the reading has been very like fun and easygoing and enjoying and passion and talking to people and getting to know people and stuff like that. And I feel like this Joan of Arc card is kind of more serious, all right? And perhaps some of you may need to be like the voice of truth in a situation and release the fear of persecution and speak your truth about an issue. I definitely feel like, you know, a serious issue could come up during the retrograde where you really do need to speak your truth about something. Or you could be in a situation that is very like upbeat and gregarious and fun, and then all of a sudden a very serious issue pops up out of nowhere. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a very serious issue that is causing panic or anything like that. It could just be a philosophical difference, right? With Mercury opposite Jupiter during this retrograde, especially in the sign of Sagittarius, it could be like a philosophical difference comes up between you and another person. And all of a sudden, you know, the mood gets a lot more serious. And in that moment, you do need to voice your truth, okay? We have let go. This is a spirit card. Once you let go of the outcome, you'll be able to release all the emotional constraints that have held you back in the past, okay? And I feel like that is the Seven of Cups energy here on the bottom of the deck. You know, wanting something really badly, so badly that it kind of blinds us to what it is that we're actually going after, right? Once you let go of the outcome, you'll be able to release all the emotional constraints that have held you back in the past. Whether that is not being able to trust people, or, you know, getting the sense that someone's lying and you can't trust them, or catching somebody in a lie, like that type of stuff, right? Not being able to trust in the higher good and guidance of spirit, as we have only your best intentions at heart and will do everything in our power to protect you. Okay? So Spirit is saying trust in the intentions in this situation, and we're going to do everything to protect you. Let go of the outcome. I mean, with the King of Wands and the Three of Cups, it's like enjoy yourself and be in the present moment. And if you feel like that's really hard to do because you always have to watch your back and there's always like somebody who isn't telling the truth, like that type of energy, pile number 2, then I feel like you're kind of wanting freedom from that energy and to let go of, you know, some trust issues that may have held you back in the past, because I do feel honesty is very important to you, pile number 2, but sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the moment too, which could very much be happening with this Mercury retrograde. We have strength, stability in this hour, endurance, stamina, I am power, okay? And yeah, and I also feel like you could be doing some deep emotional processing and letting go of, old betrayals and trust issues from the past right now, pile number 2. But at the same time, you still have to be like, go about your daily business, and you still have a lot to get done. And so I feel like you guys are not wanting to sink into inactivity. Like, you're wanting to be very active during this Mercury retrograde, okay? And I'm drawn to her shield that she's holding here, and I also feel some of you could be guarded or protecting yourself, guarding yourself, protecting yourself because of issues that you had in the past with someone. Okay, and we can see the autumn leaves on the fingertips here, and how, fall is the time to like let go. And technically we're still in fall season and the leaves are changing still. We can still see, that around us. And, autumn does give us the strength to let go. And, how this season can give you the strength to stand in your power and have your voice heard, and let go of things in the past where, maybe it was really hard to trust another person, or hard to trust yourself in a particular situation. And if you're someone that in the past always wanted to see the good side in people, or maybe even in past lives or earlier on in your life, you had an innocence about you, 3 of Cups, where you always believed what people were telling you. I feel like as you've gotten older, maybe there's an element of feeling a little jaded that has crept in, okay? And Spirit really helping you to stand strong and believe in yourself and keep you on the right track while letting go of hurts or betrayals from the past, especially as it relates to a divine masculine. That could be a father figure from your life that disappointed you in some ways, that you needed to separate from. That could be a brother, a boss. It could be a lover, all right, that Spirit is saying, speak your truth and be strong. And Spirit understands why you've had your guard up, okay? Maybe some of you are a little guarded around new people for a reason, okay? We have Neptune and sacrifice, right? And Neptune is kind of the wild card energy, because Neptune is in Pisces, and at the beginning of the retrograde, Mercury is squaring Neptune at the very beginning of the retrograde, okay? And that can lead to feelings of confusion or doubt about a situation, okay? Or having to pause for a moment, like the Hangman in the tarot, to pause and to take a break as a situation is slow to unfold, okay? And also, it's interesting with this 7 of Cups card here, it says delusion on the card. And Neptune is definitely the planet that does have to do with delusion. But I honestly feel like you guys want to let go of delusion, and you want to let go of things where you haven't been seeing clearly. And I do feel like you're being very honest with yourself with this Joan of Arc energy. And you would rather know the biting truth about something than be held back because of delusion, okay? And, it's living with our eyes closed versus living with our eyes wide open, okay? And it's easy to kind of get sucked in the moment, but I feel like you guys are living with your eyes wide open. And I do feel like you are the voice of truth in situations where other people are checked out or being very gullible, okay? And perhaps there's even a protective energy with the Strength card here too, where you're wanting to protect someone in your life that you feel is being very gullible or very like eyes wide shut about something, okay? Because I feel like your eyes are wide open with this Joan of Arc energy here, okay? We have Archangel Jophiel, and it says, before you judge, love, okay? And maybe there is somebody that you're like, God, they are really naive, or geez, I don't know why they are that way. I don't know why they're doing that to themselves. I'm not sure. Okay. And Spirit is just saying, before you judge somebody, make sure that, you know, we're looking at them with love. Okay. But it also could be that somebody is judging you. Okay. And that you need to stand up for yourself and say no. Or it's like, I don't care what you think about me anymore. I don't care who I was in the past. I am going to stand up for myself. I do think judging things with discernment, Joan of Arc energy, is very important. But sometimes, like, judging people can also be, like, there can be too much judgment or unnecessary judgment of situations or people, and like our judgment, our discernment meter is working way overtime, okay? And sometimes we need to back up and like let people be who they are, you know? So that energy, there's like, it's interesting, pile number 2, because there is kind of a hodgepodge of energy coming through in your reading, and I feel like you could have like a lot of mixed situations happening during this retrograde. But on a deeper level, I do feel like, you know, discovering passions, hobbies, creative activities that you're interested in, sharing those, going to parties, enjoying it with other people. With Neptune showing up, I would just be careful of alcohol as well, because people in the 3 of Cups too, which is also like a drinking card, and so is the 7 of Cups, I would just be a little bit careful of adding like a bunch of alcohol into situations, because that's when things can get messy. And you know, people can like blurt things out and say things that they really weren't meaning to say. So I would just, you know, caution that. I know it's going to parties this time of year. There's a lot of people having drinks and celebrating, which is great. But with that square to Saturn, it's like, okay, let's make sure, you know, we're not like saying things that shouldn't be said. You know what I'm saying, pile number 2? So that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that reading resonated for you. Let me know how you felt about it in the comments. Let's go ahead and move on to pile number 3. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose Wisdom in Play, and today's reading is about the upcoming Mercury retrograde. Actually, we're in the middle of the retrograde right now. It just started yesterday, and it will go to December 15th, okay? And for a lot of people, that's going to go right over their travel plans. And, you know, Mercury retrograde during travel is always a snafu of a situation. Hopefully it's not too bad for those of you out there who are traveling, okay? This Mercury retrograde will be opposing Jupiter and squaring Saturn, all right? So let's go ahead. Oh, there's the Magician, all right? Let's go ahead and see Magician is Mercury in the tarot, so that's funny. Whenever I see the Magician, I think, lately anyway, when I see the Magician, I think, oh, the audacity, right? It's kind of like the having the audacity card, or the audacity on that person, right? Audacity can be a good thing, though. Let's go ahead and see for my pile number 3s. What is this Mercury retrograde bringing up? We have 6 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, I like that. That's Jupiter energy. And Jupiter is very much highlighted during this retrograde. And 7 of Swords. Changing plans. Okay. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But, okay. So we're in a little bit of that energy. Making a lot of plans, or at the time, like booking a lot of activities, making a lot of plans, agreeing to many different things on a social calendar, and then, you know, having to juggle the schedule or back out at the last minute. Okay. It's a busy time of year for a lot of people. Okay. We have here candle magic, finger the spine and caress thy lips, light the spell, spilling from your grip. Okay. That's interesting. Something spilling from your grip. Okay. And that could literally be because the Wheel of Fortune can move very quickly. And the 7 of Swords could definitely be like clumsy energy, or where people are like dropping things. And it's like, oh my God, I dropped, you know, I was carrying all this stuff to my car. I was carrying, I was carrying the groceries to my car and the bag broke and spilled all over. Oh my gosh. I was on my way to travel to wherever, and I was packing up the car and everything got messed up, and I dropped like, you know, 3 jars of marmalade that I was bringing to my mother, you know, that type of stuff. Pile number 3. Okay. So that can be like, you know, with the 7 of Swords, it can be feeling a little reckless, or people playing practical jokes or funny stories coming out in the news. Okay. Or weird, funny stories coming out in the news, practical jokes, you know, promising to go visit someone or go somewhere, and then at the last minute having to back out or change plans. Okay. Especially for those of you that are traveling, it helps to be adaptable and light on your feet, and come up with alternate routes and alternate solutions. Because I feel like, during this Mercury retrograde, the people that have like plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, it may seem like overkill, but actually when the time comes, it's exactly what's needed. We have here inner truth, and the message is piglets and fishes are symbols of wealth and luck, often used in offering to the spirits. Okay. Piglets and fishes. You are in a state of committed connectedness and can trust you will be provided for. Okay. Success in an ongoing venture and the insight to be in the right place at the right time are both manifestations of your inner truth. Where do you place your trust? What feels true? Okay. What feels true? What feels like a lie? Very much, you know, Mercury in Sagittarius opposite Jupiter in Gemini. What feels like truth? What feels like you're following your inner truth? And, you know, accidentally being at the right place at the right time is some very cool coincidences could be coming up for you during this Mercury retrograde. It's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting to see you here. Or, whoa, what a coincidence. Like, fancy meeting you here. Or, you know, oh, wow, like I wasn't expecting to run into you. Or wow, you're the last person that I expected to see here, but it's really cool that I ran into you because I was meaning to talk to you anyway. Serendipitous meetings. And I feel like you could be, some of you may be feeling very klutzy during this retrograde, or you serendipitously run into someone and you want to have an important conversation with them, but you're like rushing to the next thing. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I want to talk to you, but I got to go, this type of energy. And, you are in a state of committed connectedness, but at the same time, you might feel like, gosh, I'm being kind of flaky during this retrograde. Classic Sagittarius, Gemini stuff. Yeah, we have grounded, so the need to ground the energy. Also, for those of you that have kids, you may need to ground them for some reason, is something I'm getting, like, your kid sneaks out or somebody sneaks out and you're like, oh my God, and you're like, oh, you're grounded. Okay, so there may be, like, for those of you that have kids or have young kids, it's like, yeah, they need to go in a timeout. They are being very unruly and they have the attention spans of fruit flies, and I can't get them out the door. They're so rambunctious and high spirited. I just can't even, okay? And it's like, all right, you're get left behind. I'm going to go, Six of Swords. I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to call an Uber and I'm just going to go on my own, right? So I kind of feel like there's an energy of maybe somebody has to get left behind or somebody has to stay home, all right, because they're not ready in time or they're running late. To me, this Wheel of Fortune also looks like a clock. And it's like, okay, I'm continually running late and everything's really hyper and I'm fixated on getting somewhere on time, but the other people I'm going with aren't ready. Okay, there's a lot of this going on with this grounded energy here and this need to just say, okay, all right, I'll either go on my own or I'll just call an Uber or I will, something like that, okay? There's a need to take the guesswork out of everything and not just go like run around with a chicken with her head cut off in 1,000 directions, but a need to kind of ground the energy, okay? And candle magic is interesting because candles are a very big part of the holiday season. And maybe some of you really like candle magic, or candles are very comforting to you. But we have to be careful with candles sometimes because we can leave them like burning too long and then it's like, okay, what's going on? Right. So anyway, pile number 3, beginning. It's a good time to start a new job or a whole new career. You have creative ideas that get noticed. Build a nest egg for the future. Okay. And actually, I feel like this Mercury retrograde could be a very lucky time where like weird delays and weird accidents actually bring good luck to you, like running into the right people or being in the right place at the right time. That's very serendipitous for you. Okay. And smooth sailing, I feel like, with the Six of Swords. Opportunity, absolutely. With the Wheel of Fortune, opportunity. Doors are opening up for you. You have the chance to change jobs, start a business, or invest in a new venture. Just do it. Wow. Oh my gosh. Doors of opportunity are opening up. It is a new beginning. Okay. It's a good time to start a whole new job or a new career. Doors are opening up. Okay. Just do it. Just take the opportunity. As long as you're doing it from like a grounded place and you feel good about it, it may be kind of hectic. Honestly, your guys' Mercury retrograde may be kind of hectic, but it's a good hectic, I feel like. Yeah, we have Sanat Kumara, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. Yeah, and should I go on my own? Should I go by myself? Should I take the kids with? what should I do? I feel like at the last minute, you make the right decision It may be a little bit stressful, but at the last minute, you make the right decision and your internal guidance is right on. Pile number 3, it is right on. Even if things are a little messy, it is right on. We have self-sabotage here and learning to get out of our own way, okay? And this is where, like, you know, the 7 of Swords, like, we're tripping over things, we're second guessing things a lot, but, you know, it's okay. You're fine, okay? It says, when you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. Yeah, like, you know, you made a carefully woven plan and at the last minute you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm not going, or I can't go, or never mind, or this type of stuff, okay? Or I committed to this new opportunity, but now I'm second guessing, like I shouldn't have done it, right? And maybe some of you are like, yeah, I do sometimes get, you know, a lot of self-sabotage. It is hard for me to get out of my own way sometimes. And, you know, one thing that's very freeing is to realize that it's not necessarily other people that are stopping us from achieving our goals. I remember I had that realization in my 30s, and I actually remember writing a blog post about it, and the post was called "It's Just Me Against the Music," and that's a song that Britney Spears did like in the mid 2000s or early 2000s. Anyway, she has this song called "It's Just Me Against the Music," which means that there's no one out like her, like she's dancing her ass off, performing her ass off, but in that moment, it's just her against the music. There's no one else she's competing with. There's no one else even impacting what she's doing. She's just completely in the zone, and it's just her and her own technique and what she's doing, right? And I think that that message is very interesting for you guys, pile number 3. About learning to get out of your own way and realizing it's really not others who are preventing you from achieving your true goals. There just may be times where you second guess yourself a lot. You have a really good plan to move forward, Wheel of Fortune, but then you're like 7 of Swords. You're like, you know, I don't know, maybe not, never mind. And, you know, with the 6 of Swords here, just learning to trust your inner voice and trust where you're heading, trust where you're going, and simplifying things and grounding yourself. This all helps you stay away from self-sabotage and keeps you becoming a lean, mean, fighting machine. Okay, pile number 3. And we have beauty here. I have a form, which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. Okay, so perhaps some of you may be getting a beauty treatment during this Mercury retrograde, or working on something you would like to work on, whether maybe you're working on weight loss or skincare or better habits for yourself, taking care of your hair. I have a form, which is divine. I allow what is within to shine when it comes to beauty and when it comes to how you feel about yourself from a confidence level. Pile number 3. We have Venus in love and Venus in beauty. Wow. And Venus is in Capricorn right now. And maybe some of you are Capricorn risings and you've got Venus coming across your ascendant by transit. But this is a chance to feel beautiful, okay? This is a chance to feel sexy and to feel beautiful and to do things for yourself that help you to feel beautiful and help you shine and radiate from the inside, okay? And wouldn't that be lovely, right? Wouldn't that be lovely to go and get your hair done? I know a lot of people do go and get their hair done during the holidays or get a hair treatment because people are going to parties and different stuff. And so they buy themselves a nice new dress and they get their hair done, right? Some people do that and it actually feels really nice. Okay, so pile number 3, beauty. The beauty in love is something that is really coming up for you guys during this retrograde. And it's like, oh, I'm having such a good, or I'm having such a good time, or I feel disheveled, or I forgot to brush my hair, but I still feel beautiful and I'm going anyway. That type of energy is what I'm getting. It's kind of like throw your hair up in a messy bun or something like that, but it's still cute, right? You're still looking good. Pile number 3, you're still cute. Of course you are. We have Archangel Zadkiel. Your heart is pure. Oh, that's a beautiful message. Pile number 3. And when your heart is pure, of course, beauty does shine from within. And if you are sometimes wondering, like, oh, sometimes it feels like I'm tricking people to get my way, and I worry that I'm not being a good person, or I told a little fib or a little lie so I can get ahead, or I had to, and maybe there are some people in the world who worry like I'm not a good person, or I had to trick someone to get what I wanted, or it feels like, you know, I wasn't being totally myself or totally honest in that situation with the 7 of Swords. Spirit just wants to remind you that your heart is pure and you're a really good person. Okay, pile number 1, we can't be 1,000% perfect all the time in every single action that we take. And sometimes we do overcommit ourselves, and then we do have to kind of let people down or anything like that. But I also feel like Spirit is just saying you're not a bad person. You're a great person. You're a beautiful person. And the more you ground yourself in love and in your own beauty and in your own life with the knowledge that your heart is pure, the less self-sabotage that's going to kind of come into your life, okay? And light activation, shine your light, your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear, and your heart is pure, okay? Just to let you know that, pile number 3. And like, you know, like children, their heart is pure, and your card is wisdom in play. And it says our intuition knows more than we do, and wisdom in play in the moment, and following kind of where our feelings are going about something, because pile number 3, your heart is pure. Okay, my loves, remember that during this Mercury retrograde. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm wishing you all a very good day ahead. Take care, my friends.